I have been actively engaged in the ongoing discussions surrounding the rituals conducted by the paramount priest of the Ga state, that is the high priest of the Ga state, known as the GBỌBU Wulomo, along with the corresponding commentary. Delving deep into the intricacies of these rites, I meticulously relayed the proceedings to various WhatsApp groups I am a part of and engaged in enlightening conversations via phone calls with individuals keen on seeking clarifications. Now, reflecting on this experience evoked a myriad of emotions within me. On one hand, I found a sense of pride in witnessing the preservation of our vibrant culture, showcasing the enduring nature of the Ga tradition encapsulated in the adage Kusungbo, which signifies that our traditions are resilient and alive. On the other hand, I grappled with a sense of dismay at the prevalent lack of awareness and understanding concerning our own ancestral customs as GaDangbe people. My focus remained steadfast on the perspectives shared not by outsiders, but by my fellow Ga community members, particularly the chiefs who are traditionally entrusted with safeguarding and passing down such profound knowledge. It was disheartening to observe a gap in this knowledge among some of our esteemed leaders. Fortunately, I must say, our revered elders have since illuminated the subject matter, providing us with invaluable insights and knowledge, thereby enriching our collective understanding and appreciation of our cultural heritage. Their guidance, I must say, has been instrumental in fostering a deeper connection with our roots and traditions, ensuring that our legacy endures with wisdom and reverence. Now, the ceremonial practices carried out by the esteemed high priest of the Ga state bear intriguing parallels with accounts found in the biblical narratives. Now, had this connection been widely recognized, it might have prompted a re-evaluation of the criticisms surrounding the recent events in Nungwa. What I want us to do today is that let's delve into the biblical context to unravel these resemblances further. Turning our attention to the book of 1 Samuel, we encounter a figure akin to the GBỌBU Wulomo, known as Eli, who held a position of high priestly authority. What were the responsibilities entrusted to the high priest in biblical times? Primarily, the high priest's duty revolved around serving the divine entity, that is the deity, known as YAHWEH, often referred to as the storm deity, the storm god, or the young storm god. In contrast, the GBỌBU Wulomo fulfills a similar role in service to the deity GBỌBU. So while Eli in the Bible fulfills a duty to the deity YAHWEH, GBỌBU Wulomo in this case fulfills a similar role in service to the deity GBỌBU, highlighting the intriguing parallels in title, status, and function between these revered figures, Eli in the biblical text and GBỌBU of Nungua, the Ghana state. It is worth noting that the spokesperson of Nungua highlighted the exceptional nature of the young girl chosen for the ceremonial ritual, emphasizing her unique status from the moment of conception through birth. This narrative resonates with an emotional biblical account featuring a woman named Hannah who faced barrenness. Hannah's fervent prayer at the temple sought a male offspring who, if granted, would be dedicated to the divine. If granted, would be dedicated to the deity Yahweh. This dedication implied that the child will serve as a groom to the deity, signifying a sacred commitment. I repeat that. This dedication implied that the child who was to be born would serve as a groom to the deity Yahweh, signifying a sacred commitment. Equally, had the child been female, she would have been envisioned as a bride to the deity, in a symbolic union encapsulating spiritual devotion and consecration. It is important to understand this context. Now, upon the fulfillment of her supplication, Hannah dutifully honored her vow. She presented her boy child, once weaned, at the sacred precinct in Shiloh, where she consecrated him to the service of the deity within the temple's walls, under the auspices of the venerable high priest Eli. It's crucial to emphasize that this act was not about the child entering into a personal relationship with Eli the high priest. Rather, it symbolized the child's exclusive dedication to the divine purpose and the sacred duties within the revered confines of the temple at Shiloh. So Eli here assumed a pivotal role as the intermediary between the deity and the young child, facilitating the solemn ceremony that transpired, culminating in the sacrificial offering of a bull and the formal presentation of the boy child to the high priest. So we see the custom that had to be performed before the boy child is handed over to the high priest. Now, drawing parallels to the contemporary events that happen in Nungua, even though it's an age-old ritual, a similar solemnity unfolded following the completion of the ceremonial rite, as the young girl was tendered to the esteemed high priest, the GBỌBU, to commend her service to the deity GBỌBU. So here, GBỌBU assumed a pivotal role as the intermediary between the deity and the young child, just as Eli played a pivotal role as the intermediary between the deity Yahweh and the young child Samuel. So just as in the biblical text, the act symbolized a consecrated commitment to divine service, in this case to the GBỌBU deity, in the biblical case to the deity Yahweh. Now, the explanation provided by the spokesperson of Nungua regarding the symbolic marriage of a girl child unveils a profound aspect of the ceremony. In this context, the term marriage signifies a spiritual union with the deity, emphasizing that as she matures, the girl retains the agency to choose her earthly partner freely. She's married to the deity, not to the high priest. If she matures, the girl retains the agency to choose her earthly partner freely. This concept outlines a spiritual borrowing of the girl to the deity. I repeat that. This concept outlines a spiritual borrowing of the girl child to the deity, ensuring that when the time for marriage arrives, specific rites will be enacted to allow her to marry whoever she wishes. Thus, the girl child is symbolically lent or borrowed to and by the deity. Come to the biblical text. In a remarkable parallel found in the biblical account, upon Hannah presenting her son at the temple, Hannah articulates an expressive declaration to the high priest Eli, acknowledging the divine fulfillment of her prayer and expressing her act of doing what? Borrowing her child to the deity Yahweh. She expresses her act of lending him, borrowing him to the deity Yahweh. That is a profound spiritual borrowing of the child by the deity. So you see that the juxtaposition of these narratives underscores the intrinsic connection between the ceremonial practices observed by the God state and those recorded in biblical scripture. This reflection challenges the misconceptions and biases held by those who may have rushed to criticize the ceremony without fully grasping its symbolic and historical significance. This reflection highlights the richness and complexity of spiritual traditions and underscores the importance of approaching unfamiliar customs with an open mind and a willingness to understand before passing judgment. Tra Omanye Abba.